For years, Barron Trump has been one of the most mysterious figures in American public life. As the only child of former President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, Barron has grown up in the glaring spotlight of the world's media, yet he has remained almost entirely silent. While his father's every word and tweet made headlines, and his mother's style and statements were endlessly analyzed, Barron was the quiet presence in the background, tall, reserved, and enigmatic. Now, as he turns 18 and steps into adulthood, Barron Trump is finally breaking his silence, and what he has to say is exactly what so many people have long suspected. From the moment he was born in March 2006, Barron's life was destined to be anything but ordinary. He spent his earliest years in the opulent Trump Tower penthouse in Manhattan, surrounded by luxury and privilege. But even in those early days, Melania and Donald Trump made it clear that they wanted to protect their son from the harshest aspects of public life. Melania, in particular, was fiercely protective, often keeping Barron out of the spotlight and away from the relentless scrutiny that came with being a Trump. When Donald Trump launched his presidential campaign in 2015, Barron's world changed overnight. Suddenly, the quiet boy who had been shielded from the media was thrust onto the global stage. Cameras followed his every move, and the public's curiosity about the youngest Trump only grew. Yet, even as his father's presidency dominated the news cycle, Barron remained a mystery. He rarely appeared at public events, and when he did, he was often seen standing quietly beside his parents, his expression unreadable. The media's fascination with Barron only intensified as he grew older. Social media was flooded with speculation about his personality, his interests, and his relationship with his famous parents. Some saw him as a reluctant participant in the Trump family's high-profile life, while others wondered if he might one day step into the political arena himself. Through it all, Barron maintained a stoic silence, refusing to engage with the press or share his thoughts publicly. Behind the scenes, however, Barron was navigating the challenges of adolescence under extraordinary circumstances. He attended the prestigious Columbia Grammar and Preparatory School in New York before moving to Washington, D.C., where he enrolled at St. Andrew's Episcopal School. Unlike his older siblings, who embraced the spotlight and built their own public personas, Barron seemed content to remain in the background, focusing on his studies and his personal interests. Those who know Barron describe him as intelligent, thoughtful, and surprisingly down to earth. Despite his privileged upbringing, he is said to be polite and respectful, with a dry sense of humor and a keen interest in sports, especially soccer. Melania has often spoken about her son's love of the game, and Barron has played for several youth teams over the years. Friends say that he is fiercely competitive on the field but humble and gracious off it, a quality that has earned him the respect of his peers. As Barron approached his 18th birthday, speculation about his future reached a fever pitch. Would he follow in his father's footsteps and pursue a career in business or politics? Would he step into the public eye and embrace the Trump legacy, or would he choose a different path entirely? For years, these questions went unanswered, as Barron continued to keep his thoughts and ambitions private. But now, as he officially becomes an adult, Barron Trump is finally ready to share his perspective. In a rare and candid interview, Barron has opened up about his experiences, his hopes for the future, and the truth about what it's really like to grow up as a Trump. His words are honest, thoughtful, and, in many ways, exactly what the world has been waiting to hear. For the first time, Barron is stepping out of the shadows and into the light, and his admission is both surprising and deeply relatable. In his first real interview, Barron Trump's demeanor is calm and composed, a reflection of the maturity he's developed over years of living in the public eye. He begins by acknowledging the unique circumstances of his upbringing, admitting that being a Trump has always come with both privileges and pressures. "I know people see the name and think they know everything about me," Barron says, "but the truth is, I've spent most of my life just trying to figure out who I am, apart from all of that." Barron's admission is refreshingly honest. He describes the surreal experience of growing up in the White House, where every moment was carefully choreographed and every word could become a headline. "It was like living in a bubble," he explains. "There were Secret Service agents everywhere, and I couldn't just go out and do normal things like other kids my age. Even going to school was different. There were always people watching, always cameras nearby." For Barron, the constant attention was both isolating and overwhelming, making it difficult to form genuine friendships or trust people's intentions. He credits his mother, Melania, for helping him stay grounded. "My mom has always been my biggest supporter," Barron shares, "She taught me to be polite, to work hard, and to never let the noise get to me. She's the reason I've been able to stay true to myself, even when things got crazy." Melania's influence is evident in Barron's thoughtful responses and his careful choice of words. He speaks with a quiet confidence, never boastful or defensive, but simply honest about his experiences. Barron also opens up about the challenges of living in a family that is constantly in the spotlight. He admits that there were times when he felt invisible, overshadowed by his father's larger-than-life persona and his siblings' high-profile careers. "It's easy for people to forget that I'm just a person, too," he says. "I have my own dreams, my own fears, and my own opinions. I'm not just a headline or a meme. I'm me." This desire to be seen for who he truly is, rather than as an extension of the Trump brand, is something Barron has struggled with for years. He talks about the pressure to live up to expectations, both from his family and from the public. "There's always this idea that I have to be a certain way, or do certain things, just because of my last name," Barron explains. "But I've learned that I can't make everyone happy. At the end of the day, I have to be true to myself." This realization, he says, has been both liberating and daunting. For Barron, adulthood is not about following a predetermined path, but about forging his own identity and making choices that reflect his values and interests. When asked about his relationship with his father, Barron is candid but respectful. He acknowledges that Donald Trump's approach to life and business is very different from his own. "My dad is a force of nature," Barron says with a slight smile, "is always on the move, always thinking big. I respect that, but I'm not sure I want the same things he does." Barron admits that he and his father don't always see eye to eye, but he values the lessons he's learned from watching his dad navigate the highs and lows of public life. Barron also addresses the speculation about his future. For years, people have wondered if he would follow in his father's footsteps, but Barron is clear. "I want to find my own way. I'm interested in a lot of things: sports, technology, maybe even something creative. I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I know I want it to be mine." His words are a quiet declaration of independence, a signal that he is ready to step out from the shadow of his famous family and chart his own course. As the interview draws to a close, Barron reflects on the lessons he's learned. "I've realized that it's okay to be different, to take your time figuring things out. You don't have to have all the answers at 18. What matters is being honest with yourself and not letting other people define who you are." With these words, Barron Trump finally admits what so many have suspected behind the name, the headlines, and the mystery. He is simply a young man searching for his own place in the world. Barron's candid revelations have sparked a wave of empathy and curiosity from the public. For the first time, people are seeing him not just as a political figure's son, but as a real person with his own hopes, struggles, and dreams. The interview quickly goes viral, with social media buzzing about Barron's maturity and self-awareness. Many are surprised by his humility and the thoughtful way he speaks about his life, especially given the extraordinary circumstances he's grown up in. As the conversation continues, Barron delves deeper into the realities of his childhood. He describes the surreal experience of moving from New York to Washington, D.C., and the abrupt shift from private citizen to first son. "It was a lot to take in," he admits. "One day I was just a kid going to school in Manhattan, and the next I was living in the White House. Everything changed overnight: my friends, my routines, even the way people looked at me." Barron recalls the sense of isolation that came with the move, as well as the pressure to adapt quickly to a new environment where privacy was almost non-existent. Despite these challenges, Barron found ways to carve out a sense of normalcy. He threw himself into his studies, developed close friendships with a small circle of trusted peers, and found solace in his love of sports. Soccer, in particular, became an important outlet for him, a way to escape the pressures of public life and focus on something he truly enjoyed. "On the field, nobody cared about my last name," Barron says. "It was just about the game, about working together as a team. That's where I felt most like myself." Barron also shares how he coped with the constant scrutiny and criticism that came with being a Trump. He admits that some of the things said about him online were hurtful, but he learned to tune out the negativity and focus on the people who truly mattered. "You can't control what other people say or think," he reflects. "All you can do is stay true to yourself and surround yourself with people who support you." This lesson, he says, has been one of the most important of his young life. The conversation turns to Barron's relationship with his mother, Melania, who has been a steady presence throughout his life. He credits her with teaching him the importance of kindness, empathy, and resilience. "My mom always told me to treat everyone with respect, no matter who they are," Barron shares. "She's been through a lot herself, and she's taught me how to handle tough situations with grace." Melania's influence is evident in Barron's calm demeanor and his thoughtful approach to life's challenges. Barron also opens up about his siblings, Don Jr., Ivanka, Eric, and Tiffany, and the unique dynamics of being the youngest in a high-profile family. He describes his siblings as supportive, but admits that their lives are very different from his own. "They're all older and they've built their own careers and families," Barron explains. "I look up to them, but I also want to find my own path. I think they understand that." Barron's desire for independence is clear, and he expresses gratitude for the freedom his family has given him to make his own choices. As the interview progresses, Barron is asked about his views on politics and whether he feels any pressure to get involved. He responds thoughtfully, acknowledging the expectations that come with his last name but making it clear that he wants to forge his own identity. "Politics is a big part of my family's life, but it's not the only thing that matters to me," Barron says. "I care about a lot of issues, but I also want to explore other interests. Maybe something in technology, sports, or even the arts. I want to keep my options open." By the end of the conversation, it's clear that Barron Trump is ready to step into adulthood on his own terms. His honesty, humility, and self-awareness have won over many skeptics, and his story serves as a reminder that even those born into the spotlight are still searching for their own place in the world. For the first time, Barron's voice is being heard, and it's a voice that's both relatable and refreshingly real. As Barron Trump's words continue to ripple through the media and public consciousness, a new narrative begins to take shape, one that is less about politics and more about the universal challenges of growing up. For the first time, Barron is not just a symbol or a headline. He is a young man navigating the same questions and uncertainties that millions of others face as they enter adulthood. The world, it seems, is finally ready to see Barron for who he truly is. In the days following his interview, Barron receives an outpouring of support from people of all backgrounds. Young adults relate to his struggle to define himself outside of his family's expectations, while parents express admiration for his maturity and honesty. Mental health advocates praise his openness about the pressures of public life, noting that his willingness to speak candidly about isolation and anxiety helps to break down the stigma that often surrounds these issues. For many, Barron's story is a reminder that no one is immune to the challenges of growing up, not even the son of a former president. Barron's newfound openness also sparks conversations within his own family. He shares that his parents, while sometimes strict, have always encouraged him to think for himself and to pursue his own interests. "My mom and dad have always wanted what's best for me," Barron explains. "They have their own ideas about what that looks like, but at the end of the day, they respect my choices." This mutual respect has allowed Barron to explore his passions without feeling pressured to follow a predetermined path. One of the most striking aspects of Barron's journey is his commitment to privacy and authenticity. Unlike many young people in the digital age, Barron has largely avoided social media, preferring to keep his personal life out of the public eye. He explains that this was a conscious decision, made in consultation with his parents, to protect his mental health and maintain a sense of normalcy. "It's easy to get caught up in what other people think," Barron says. "But I've learned that real happiness comes from within, not from likes or followers." Barron's approach to life is refreshingly grounded. He talks about the importance of having a close circle of friends who know him for who he is, not for his last name. He values loyalty, honesty, and kindness. Qualities, he says, were instilled in him by his mother. Barron also emphasizes the importance of giving back, sharing that he has quietly volunteered with several charities and hopes to do more philanthropic work in the future. "I've been given a lot in life," he reflects. "I want to use what I have to help others, even if it's just in small ways." As Barron looks to the future, he is both excited and apprehensive. He is considering several options for college, with interests ranging from technology and engineering to international relations and the arts. Barron is clear that he wants to forge his own path, even if it means making mistakes along the way. "I know I won't have all the answers right away," he admits, "but I'm okay with that. I want to learn, to grow, and to figure things out for myself." The interview ends with Barron sharing a message for other young people who may feel lost or overwhelmed by expectations. "It's okay to take your time," he says. "You don't have to have everything figured out. Just be honest with yourself, trust the people who care about you, and don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it." His words resonate with viewers, many of whom see their own struggles reflected in his story. For the first time, Barron Trump is not just a silent figure in the background. He is a young man with a voice, a perspective, and a future that is entirely his own. His willingness to speak openly about his experiences has not only changed the way people see him, but has also inspired others to embrace their own journeys with courage and authenticity. As Barron steps into adulthood, he does so on his own terms, ready to face whatever comes next with honesty, humility, and hope. As Barron Trump's story continues to unfold, the world watches with a mix of curiosity and respect. For so long, he was the silent observer in a family known for its bold personalities and public statements. Now, as he steps into adulthood, Barron is proving that sometimes the quietest voices have the most profound things to say. His journey is not just about growing up in the White House or bearing the Trump name. It's about finding his own identity in a world that has always tried to define him. In the weeks following his interview, Barron's life begins to change in subtle but significant ways. He receives invitations to speak at youth events and mental health forums, with organizations eager to hear more from the young man who has inspired so many with his honesty. While Barron is flattered by the attention, he remains cautious, determined not to let fame dictate his choices. "I appreciate the support," he says, "but I want to make sure that whatever I do next is true to who I am." Barron's friends and mentors describe him as thoughtful and introspective, someone who takes time to consider his options before making decisions. He is not interested in chasing headlines or building a brand. His focus is on personal growth and meaningful connections. Barron spends time volunteering, exploring new hobbies, and continuing his education. He is particularly interested in technology and innovation, fields that allow him to combine his analytical mind with his creative side. Despite his efforts to maintain a low profile, Barron's every move is still closely watched by the media. Rumors swirl about his college plans, his relationships, and his future ambitions. Barron handles the speculation with grace, refusing to be drawn into the drama. "People are always going to talk," he says with a shrug. "I can't control that. All I can do is live my life the best way I know how." Barron's relationship with his parents continues to evolve as he becomes more independent. He shares that he and his father have had many conversations about the future, with Donald Trump offering advice but ultimately respecting Barron's desire to make his own choices. "My dad wants me to be happy," Barron explains. "He's proud of what he's accomplished, but he understands that I have my own path to follow." Melania, too, remains a guiding force, encouraging Barron to stay true to his values and to prioritize his well-being. As Barron navigates the transition to adulthood, he is mindful of the unique platform he has been given. He is aware that his words and actions carry weight, and he hopes to use his influence for good. Barron is particularly passionate about mental health advocacy, drawing on his own experiences to help others who may be struggling. He speaks openly about the importance of seeking help, breaking the stigma, and supporting friends and family members who are facing challenges. "No one should have to go through it alone," Barron says. "If sharing my story helps even one person, it's worth it." Barron's journey is also a testament to the power of resilience. He has faced criticism, isolation, and immense pressure, yet he has emerged with a sense of purpose and self-awareness that is rare for someone his age. His story resonates with young people everywhere, many of whom see their own struggles reflected in his experiences. Barron's message is clear: it's okay to be different, to take your time, and to define success on your own terms. Looking ahead, Barron is excited about the possibilities that lie before him. He is considering internships, travel, and further studies, eager to learn more about the world and his place in it. While he remains grateful for his family's support, Barron is determined to make his own mark, one that is defined not by his last name, but by his character, his choices, and his contributions to the world. As Barron Trump steps into the next chapter of his life, he does so with humility, courage, and a quiet confidence that is all his own. His story is just beginning, and the world is finally ready to listen. As Barron Trump moves forward, his story becomes a powerful example of what it means to come of age in the public eye, and to do so with grace, authenticity, and a sense of purpose. The world has watched him grow from a quiet child in the background of political rallies to a thoughtful young man ready to step into his own future. For Barron, turning 18 is not just a milestone, it's a turning point, a chance to finally take control of his own narrative and show the world who he really is. In the months after his candid interview, Barron's life settles into a new rhythm. He continues to focus on his education, exploring subjects that ignite his curiosity and challenge him to think critically. He spends time with friends who value him for who he is, not for his last name or family connections. Barron also makes time for the things he loves, playing soccer, reading, and learning about technology. These simple pleasures help him stay grounded, reminding him that, at his core, he is just a young man with hopes, dreams, and a desire to make a difference. Barron's relationship with his family remains strong, but it is evolving as he steps into adulthood. He and his parents have honest conversations about the future, with Barron expressing his desire to carve out his own path. Donald and Melania, while protective, are supportive of his choices, encouraging him to pursue his passions and to trust his instincts. Barron appreciates their guidance but is determined to make decisions that reflect his own values and interests. As Barron looks to the future, he is excited by the possibilities that lie ahead. He is considering a range of options, from attending college to traveling and gaining real-world experience. Barron is open to exploring different fields, including technology, international relations, and even creative pursuits like writing or the arts. What matters most to him is that whatever he chooses, it will be on his own terms. Barron's story has resonated with people around the world, especially young adults who are also trying to find their place in a complex and often overwhelming world. His willingness to speak openly about his struggles and uncertainties has made him a relatable figure, someone who understands the pressures of expectation and the importance of self-discovery. Barron's message is simple but profound. You don't have to have everything figured out at 18. It's okay to take your time, to make mistakes, and to learn as you go. In the years to come, Barron hopes to use his platform to make a positive impact. He is passionate about mental health advocacy, education, and helping others find their own voices. Barron knows that his unique experiences give him a perspective that can help others, and he is committed to using that perspective for good. Whether through public speaking, volunteering, or simply being a supportive friend, Barron wants to be a force for kindness and understanding in the world. As the public's perception of Barron Trump shifts, so too does the narrative surrounding him. No longer just the silent son of a former president, Barron is emerging as a young man with his own story to tell. His journey is a reminder that everyone, no matter their background or circumstances, deserves the chance to define themselves and to pursue their own dreams. In the end, what Barron Trump finally admitted is what so many suspected all along. Behind the headlines and the family name is a thoughtful, independent, and compassionate young man who is ready to step into the world on his own terms. His story is just beginning, and as he takes his first steps into adulthood, Barron does so with a sense of hope, humility, and quiet confidence. For those who have watched him from afar, Barron's journey is a powerful reminder that true strength comes not from fame or fortune, but from the courage to be yourself. As he moves forward, Barron Trump is poised to inspire a new generation, not as a symbol, but as a real person, forging his own path and embracing the adventure that lies ahead.